Tahanjo. Hey guys. Oh, son of a gun. Look. Alright, I had to let it go because I had to stop. Thanks, Explorer. I finally caught a leaf. I've done it. And then I realized the camera wasn't running. I've caught leaves on the bike a few times in the winter, or the fall rather. And I just got another one, and then I realized the camera wasn't running. Son of a gun. So hopefully you saw it as I let it go. That guy had to turn right in front of me before I could show you. Well, maybe I did show you. I don't know. Did you see it? Did you see the leaf? Do you ever do something like that? Try to catch a leaf while you're riding? Or are you like, do you pay attention to the road or something? I do pay attention. I have what I think is misnamed attention problems. Yeah. They call it a deficit, but it's not. It's just just wired a little different, maybe. But anyway, the idea of catching a leaf on camera while riding the motorcycle it's pretty good. Pretty good idea. Man, these road snakes, they've added a bunch of them. I got to be careful here. Yeah, so you know, your roads are kind of like fingerprints to some extent. So roads that you ride a lot, you can kind of get lulled. You know where the road snakes are. You know where that, like, oh, there's that bump that you just don't even think about. You avoid it because, you know, you've memorized this road subconsciously, and you know, kind of know it like one of your, I was gonna say know it like one of your fingerprints. I would not recognize my fingerprint in a million years. I wouldn't guess the right one out of a million fingerprints. You know what I mean though, right? You get to know your roads and everything. And so the problem is it comes when they actually do something about the road and try to like make it nice, and all of a sudden things are new. They're not what they were. And so there's a good case back there where you get kind of lulled. I'm looking ahead, trying to plan my next maneuver, and which frankly is to avoid the bushes. That's a pretty good maneuver. And then I, you know, come around the corner and there's a bazillion extra road snakes. So I guess what am I trying to say? Nothing. Just pay attention. You know, the conditions may change. I guess that's where I'm going with that. This is also interesting. So it's autumn right now, or fall for you guys who like the monosyllabic seasons. And one of the issues that I've had, this is a good road for it actually. They got a lot of wild grapes that grow, you know, kind of back in the area. And you see they get big broad leaves, and there's some wild grapevines. We just passed them. They were getting a little pale. But the grapevines occasionally, if branches come down, and you know, maybe there was a grapevine that was twirled around the branch, or maybe it cut through a branch, you can get the vines that swing way out over the road. And I think, you know, if we go back a bazillion episodes, or I shouldn't call it an episode, that dignifies this channel too much, but if you go back a long ways, you might actually see one drift. I know I've had it happen a couple of times on camera. Big old grapevine drift out across the road. And man, that kind of thing will take you out. It's likely not going to knock you off your bike or wrap around your neck or do anything like that, but what it might do is it might startle you, and then you end up dumping the bike because you get startled by something you didn't expect. You know, so the more things we can expect as we ride, I think the better it will be. So this time of year, I do think about those couple of grapevines that have drifted out. And if you have a situation like that, what I did at least once, because the first time it happened to me, the grapevine actually drifted way over into the other lane. So I think it was coming from trees up above. But the other one came right at me, drifted right in front of me, and there was nowhere to run to. And so I hunkered down. Gave a little hunker down, and I don't think it hit me. If it did, it was just very glancing, you know. But you got to be. I heard, who was it that said it? Was it John Maxwell? I've referred to him a couple times lately. Hope he's doing well. Who says hit the squirrel? Oh, maybe it was my riding instructor years ago. Yeah, squirrel runs out in front of you, hit the squirrel. You know, because you hate to see somebody killed or, you know, total their bike or you know, hurt somebody else because they swerve to avoid an animal, which is probably gonna get out of the way anyway. Sometimes we think we can dodge quicker than a squirrel can, but we are in slow motion compared to them. That thing will be back and forth 5 times in front of your tire before you eventually miss it if you just go in a straight line. Yeah, once in a while you hit one, and it stinks. It really stinks to hit an animal, but you're probably gonna miss it. And don't swerve and guarantee yourself an accident when in fact you can just, you know, do the right thing and possibly avoid any problem at all except an elevated heart rate and some dilated pupils. Right? What am I talking about? I don't even know what I'm talking about. But anyway, autumn here in New England. The trees, they are a-turning. The nor'easter, it is a-coming. And I am a-riding. Oh yeah, I'll mention I reached out to Alpha Cars and Motorcycles in Boxborough, Mass. They sell Royal Enfield motorcycles and Ural motorcycles, but they're like almost an hour away from where I am. So I reached out to them. I was like, hey man, well I missed, they had an event. It was like coffee and bikes or something like that, but they canceled it last minute and I had planned to go. And so they canceled it last minute, and then they rescheduled it to a time when I was at a conference, so I couldn't go. But you know, I reached out and I said, yo, I'm interested in checking out the Royal Enfields. And you know, they do, it looks like a really good company. But anyway, I just took a little shot in the dark, and I was like, hey, if you ever got a demo bike you want to loan out once, you know, once or something. And I expected the answer would be no, but in fact they reached back out and said no. Yeah, they said, yeah, the answer was in fact no. We don't do that. You know, there's insurance reasons and blah, blah, blah. Which you don't have to say that. You could just say no. I can handle it. I had already prepped myself for disappointment, that's what I do. I prep myself for disappointment. That's about what I prepare for in life all the time. I just prepare. Anyway, so it didn't bother me. But I thought I'd reach out, you know. But if I ever get out there, and I'm hoping to get out there at some point, but I'll be sure to bring the camera along and show you what they're about, because they look like a great location, a great company. So stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned. If I get rich, I'll pick up a cheap Royal Enfield and maybe you'll see it from time to time. All right, guys, Matt the Greeter. Care about you. You want to see an outhouse? All right, bye.